Was I wrong about FragPunk? Hey guys, Nightfall here, and about a week ago now, I put out my first impressions / review of seemingly everyone's new favorite game, judging by the comments section on that video. I'm talking about FragPunk. It was insane how many hate comments one video can get just for giving your own opinion on a game that you played for a few hours. And clearly people don't pay attention because it quickly turned into, oh, I must hate the game, or I'm just trying to get it canceled like all these other games. Even though I clearly stated in that video that I actually enjoy playing the game. But whatever. People are going to hate if your opinion doesn't match theirs. Nothing you could really do about it. So you're all dying to know, was I wrong about FragPunk? Well, in a lot of ways, yeah, I was very wrong. But also a lot of my opinions still stand. So let's start off with the reason most of you probably clicked this video in the first place and just list all of the reasons that I was wrong about this game. For starters, I was saying that it was going to fade off slowly like most other games have because there was no aim assist, controller support felt iffy, and then the delayed console release kind of just ruined it for a lot of people. But to my surprise, it's actually grown and picked up a chunk of players since launch and then leveled out much better than I thought it ever would, given all of the issues. Now, the movement, I still feel like we should add something like air strafing, but not make it too overpowered. But I have grown to be okay without being able to slide and also slowly getting used to the overall movement speed that they've settled on. Although, getting that mass cheetah card is nice from time to time. Then last but not least, yes, you do get used to navigating the menus after a few days, but my point still stands from that previous video that it can be very off-putting to a lot of new players that can just get overwhelmed and just put down the game and not want to deal with that nonsense and never touch it again. We definitely still need menu optimization of some sort. Now, after having a lot more time to play the game, I will add a bit more criticism and some suggestions as well. So we all know that we still don't have aim assist fixed for controller players on PC, and at this point, I'm starting to wonder if they'll ever even bother fixing it at all. The one thing I will caution them about though is if you plan on having crossplay between console and PC, and console doesn't have aim assist, either you're going to slowly lose most of the console and controller players, assuming we ever get the console launch, or anybody left playing on console is just going to be cheating and using a Zim and playing mouse and keyboard on console, assuming it doesn't have native MNK support on launch. And I would have to say that my biggest lingering issue with everything is just the lack of communication or cooperation with the community on feedback and questions that we've asked. That was supposed to be something that they were making a priority, but it seems to be the opposite. They've doubled down on the movement nerf and said, we don't really care about everyone's feedback and suggestions on that, and just suck it up. Just kind of an odd response from somebody who was supposed to prioritize a more community-centered game. But moving on to some suggestions. We can currently re-roll a shard card, but what about saving one for the next round? I think maybe spending 2 shard points to save a card for the next round, or maybe half of the shard points of the original card's cost or something like that. There are so many scenarios in which you'd want to save a card for another round. Maybe you see the enemy has pull the plug and you want to save sight deletion for the next round so you don't just waste it. I think we should at least have this option to do it, even if you wanted to test the waters in standard and unranked first, and then possibly bring it to ranked later. Another suggestion I have for this game is they need to invest more time into the duel maps. I get it's supposed to be a quick 1v1, but most of the maps are pretty bland and stale, and some variety wouldn't really kill you. A lot of the regular maps are awesome and they play out and flow very well, but the duel maps just need a little work. And also, while we're on the topic of maps, this will help transition into my next suggestion. They should really invest more into the respawn game modes in general, including the maps, because the maps for that game mode are just absolutely dog shit. I'll just be honest with you. I'm going to be brutally honest up front, whatever you want to call it. They're bad. They're not good. I said it in my first video and I'm saying it again. Like I said before, the Shard Clash maps are phenomenal, but these other maps they got just ain't it. Especially the ones in like a team deathmatch. I've played like 3 different ones, and I'd say 2 out of the 3 that I've played are just the worst maps I've ever seen. One of them is okay, it's playable, but overall they're just not good. And on top of that, if they won't give us sliding and better movement in the main Shard Clash mode, which I understand, they should at least give it to us in the respawn modes to make it more of an arcade shooter and pick up the pace a little bit to match what we currently have on the market. And if they did that, they could attract some more players that maybe don't want to play a search and destroy attack shooter all the time. I know for someone like me, it would keep me on the game a bit longer for when I get burnt out of playing the Shard Clash mode and I just want to run around and shoot things. And if you get more players interested in other modes by doing these changes, then you could even go so far as to add a ranked mode for those game modes separate from the Shard Clash mode. Now let's talk about the monetization. This was a hot topic in my first video, and a lot of the game is centered around monetization. And the comments from that video, people were absolutely losing their shit, telling me it's in every game and I'm stupid for saying this and that. And no, just because it's in this game and it's in every other game doesn't make it right. I'm aware that it's in most other games. I never said having monetization in the game in general was bad. What I was getting at is a few things. One, the odds are terrible for the gacha system. They have you have no chance at getting anything. You have a 0.01% chance on most of your draws. You might as well just tell me it's a 0% chance, because maybe I'm just the most unluckiest person in the world, but there's no chance I'm pulling that at a 0.1% chance. And even when you draw 50 times, on your 50th draw, it goes up to a 1% chance. I just need some better odds, just a little better. Maybe up it to 5% on the pity draw. I'm not asking for a 25 or 50% pull rate on it, but just a little bit. Even 3% would be better than what we have now. And if the chances were higher, I think people would be more inclined to spend more money trying to pull these things if they had better odds. Another point I was trying to make with the monetization stuff is that it's just shady, mainly the membership. You're not actually getting all the Lancers, you rent them, and the stuff they claim to give you, including the Frag Punk coins and Curiosity cans, you have to log in and claim them daily, and if you don't claim them all before your membership runs out, you forfeit them. Kind of a dumb system, and they aren't super upfront about this part, as it's marketed like you get all the stuff immediately on payment for the membership. And yeah, I've seen all the comments. People are saying, well, if you're spending money on a game, you should read the stuff. But that's just it. The stuff isn't there to read. You have to hover over the things to read it. Nobody's gonna think to do that because you've never had to do that in any other game. It's not intuitive. You don't just do it. You see, this is what you get, this is what you pay. You pay for it because you think that's what you're getting, and then you realize you don't actually get it all up front. I've also seen many comments telling me that people have fallen for this exact same thing. The game just isn't user-friendly to new players at all, and after playing the ranked mode, I've seen people vote to forfeit, and I still can't even figure out where the option is to start the vote to begin with. And trust me, I've looked. Maybe I'm just dumb and can't find it. Somebody let me know down in the comments. How do you forfeit? Where do you start that vote? And the last big issue I have with this game is the in-game marketing of other products. We've all gotten that message where it says they detected high latency and packet loss on our network, and we can fix that by getting this app, by the way, that they also own. And that wouldn't be so bad if, one, it actually worked, and two, I was actually having those issues, but I'm not. It's not just me. It's a mass-generated mail that goes out to everybody in the game, or I can only assume is everyone because nobody has told me they haven't gotten it, and I've gotten it twice now. Just stop trying to shove your product down my throat. It's disgusting. And to make matters worse, like I said, if it was an actual problem I was having and you're telling me, hey, this can help fix it, cool. Thanks for the suggestion. But you're disguising a problem that your servers are having and passing it off as a problem that my network is having, and it's not. But looking past all of the negative things on this game, I do enjoy playing it and I do have fun. And yes, you do get tons of free stuff and you don't really need to spend any money. The free stuff is more than enough to keep you going in the game, get you some skins and stuff. And it's actually more than probably any other game I've seen. But at the end of the day, for right now at least, it is just another tac shooter with a little gimmick to the side. The gimmick being the shard cards. The market seems to be completely oversaturated with all these different tac shooters that you can play. And not all of them are standing up to the test of time, because we just saw a few days ago, Spectre Divide is shutting down. And actually, FragPunk had my respect for just a moment when they hit him with this meme on Twitter, but they quickly lost my respect after they backtracked, deleted it, and then apologized for being insensitive. Screw that. They botched their game's release, it didn't have controller support, so they deserve to be trolled a little bit. Sure, it's not fun that people lost their jobs, but grow a pair. So yeah, that's my take on FragPunk right now. Will it become my main game that I make content on? I'm not sure. It very well could be. It's definitely growing on me. So let me know what sort of FragPunk videos you'd like to see down in the comments. And if you're seeing this video the same day I posted it, I might just be live right now. So come swing by and watch how bad I am at this game while playing on controller.
Roger, roger. Roger, roger. Roger, roger.